Let's get to it. Dover International Speedway this weekend as we gear up, only 6 races away from the NASCAR playoffs. The stakes are as high as they've ever been. If you clicked on this video, it's because you don't want to hear me ramble. You want to hear some stats. You want to hear some info as we get ready for the Auto Trader Echo Park Automotive 400 at Dover International Speedway. Let's get into it. The entry list, boom, put it up on the board. Any questions about the entry list? One open car, that's number 44, NY Racing Chevrolet of J.J. Yaley. If you have any expectations for this, do not whatsoever. For Yaley, that's the 6th race of the year in that number 44 machine. Also tried to qualify for the Daytona 500. We have not seen Yaley since Nashville, beginning of June. He's raced a Cup car 23 times at Dover in his career. An average finish of 33.9. 8 did not finishes with 0 top 20s and a best finish of 24th overall, even hearkening back to his days with Joe Gibbs Racing. So that's per driveraverages.com. Yaley will be in this race. Congratulations, fantastic. Wouldn't recommend putting any money down whatsoever. What happened in this race last year at Dover at the Monster Mile in the Worth 400? Well, here's your top 15 in particular. It was won by Denny Hamlin. For Denny, that was his 2nd victory at the Monster Mile in his career, and it was an impressive performance. Kyle Larson took 2nd. Martin Truex Jr. took 3rd. Kyle Busch 4th. Chase Elliott 5th. You also had Noah Gragson coming in at number 6, Ryan Blaney, Alex Bowman, Daniel Hemrick with the top 10 in the then Kaulig Racing number 31. It's now the number 10 driven by Ty Dillon. And you had Ty Gibbs round out your top 10. Tyler Reddick, Ross Chastain, AJ Allmendinger, Josh Berry, and Austin Cindric were the top 15 last time we watched these guys on track at Dover. So what do we expect coming into this race? Well, let's start with the Bubble Watch right now. I talked about, not Bubba Watch, Bubble Watch. What's going to happen with the guys right around that cut line? 6 races to go. Things are getting really, really tight. You don't want to be in that 16th spot, which I guess that is the Bubble Watch. So where do they stand right now? Well, here's the standings up on the board to give you a little visual aid and how these guys typically fare at a track such as Dover. Let's start first and foremost. 13th, Tyler Reddick. He's a plus 149. Seems pretty safe. Seems pretty cushy. Seems like a lock if we don't have a bunch of random winners the last 6 races of the season. He comes in 8th on the current entry list of guys in terms of best average finish at a track like Dover. Well, let's just be honest, at Dover specifically. 6 starts here, 14.5 is his average finish, 0 wins, 0 top 5s, 2 top 10s. He hasn't been excellent at this track, but he's been good enough. His best finish has been 7th. This time last year, when they raced at Dover, he ended up finishing 11th in the Worth 400. 14th place, Chris Buescher in that number 17 Ford for RFK. He's a plus 34 right now. Not as cushiony as somebody like Tyler Reddick. He comes in 18th of current drivers on the entry list for average finish of all time at Dover. 19.9 is that number for Buescher in 14 starts. The driver, the 17, has 0 wins, 0 top 5s, and 2 top 10s with a best finish of 8th. Last time we were here last year, he finished on the lead lap in the 17th spot at Dover International Speedway. You also have Alex Bowman, a plus 32. Bowman has been on a tear as of late. He's been racing at some tracks that he's had success on. This is one of them. Alex Bowman has a victory at this track. He is the 12th driver on the entry list in terms of highest per average finish, which is 17.1. He has 13 races under his belt at the Monster Mile. He's got 1 win, 5 top 5s, and 6 top 10s. That's not too shabby there for the number 48 Chevrolet driven by Mr. Bowman. Last time out, he took 8th at this track last year. Lastly, 16th, Bubba Wallace, last spot before the cut line. This is where things get a little dicey. You see Bowman has something with his resume here at Dover. You see Reddick's experienced a small taste of success. You see Buescher has had little moments here and there as well with the best finish of 8th, capable of running well at Dover, even if it isn't their choice track. Bubba Wallace is in a unique spot. He's 23rd on the entry list in best driver finish just on an average basis at Dover per driveraverages.com. He's got 10 races here, and specifically 0 wins, 0 top 5s, 0 top 10s, zeros across the board. His best finish was 11th. And it's a 21.4 finishing average for Bubba Wallace when it comes to this track. Last year, he did not finish, took home 32nd. For example there, below the cut line, this is where Ryan Preece is trying to make some ground. The issue being, this isn't Ryan Preece's track either. If we're going to talk about Bubba and Dover not necessarily going hand in hand, Preece is in the same boat. 8 races for Preece. He's 31st on the entry list in average finish out of everybody entering this race. Has not been his track whatsoever. 24.4 is his average finish. 0 wins, 0 top 5s, 0 top 10s. And unlike Bubba Wallace, whose best finish is 11th, Ryan Preece's best finish is 17th. He is going to have to buck that trend if he wants to surpass or overtake Bubba Wallace in the standings here by the time the dust settles at the Auto Trader Echo Park Automotive 400 on Sunday. Now, Preece has been in more underfunded equipment prior to this. We're talking about time in the 37. We're talking about time in the 41. Cars like that, for example. It hasn't been the cream of the crop necessarily, but it certainly hasn't been his track by any means. 18th, Kyle Busch. Whoo, baby. This could be Kyle Busch's coming out party this season alone. Busch is 6th on the entry list and just pure driver average finish at Dover. 13.9 is the number there for the number 8 RCR Chevrolet. He's got 36 races under his belt here at Dover. 3 wins, 14 top 5s, and 22 top 10s for Kyle Busch. Those 3 victories are the most among any driver who will be entering on Sunday. Denny's got a couple, Chase Elliott's got a couple, but Kyle Busch is the cream of the crop in terms of pure wins. He's looking for that. Last year in this race, he took 4th after qualifying on the pole position. So keep an eye on Kyle Busch. I know a lot of discussion going on for that number 8 team. But if he's going to find success anywhere, it's going to be right here at Dover before the playoffs. He's 37 points out. 34 behind Ryan Preece, and then, of course, 37 behind Bubba Wallace, who holds that last spot. 19th is A.J. Allmendinger. Allmendinger is one of those vets who has plenty of experience on this racetrack alone. He's a minus 50 going into this one. He needs something to happen here. 27th on the entry list in driver averages purely. It's right around for the Dinger, 22.7. 25 races for the 16. 0 wins, 0 top 5s, 3 top 10s for A.J., and his best finish is 7th. Last year, he finished 13th on this track. And the last guy, 20th, Ty Gibbs, that we'll discuss. We could get into Hosevar or Jones, but I'm cutting it at 20, point blank. Ty Gibbs has been racing really well as of late. He only has 2 races. The most inexperienced driver at Dover, specifically if we're just looking at that bubble right now. Right, just 2 races. His best finish is 10th. He has an average finish of 11.5. Not too shabby, 1 top 10, and that's pretty much it in the case of Ty Gibbs. So he'll look to continue what's been a stellar start to his career at Dover International. Now, some other names to watch that aren't on the playoff bubble. No more playoff bubble. Let's get into some guys. Denny Hamlin, we mentioned him and what he's capable of with his 2 victories here at Dover. He has an average finish rate of 15.6 on this track. He also has 16 top 10s. He's got 8 top 5s in his 34 starts at the Monster Mile. So Hamlin's someone you can keep an eye on. Last week's winner, Shane Van Gisbergen, who's won 3 of the last 5 races. He's never started here. So do with that what you will. He's probably not going to continue his hot streak, I would imagine. But we're looking for signs of improvement on not road courses from someone like SVG, who has more than well deserved his ticket to the playoffs. Seeing if he can get a top 20 here, I think would be an excellent step in the right direction. Some other names that you could really check out here, Kyle Larson. This is a big one. Larson was your runner-up last year in this race. He is the best just in terms of pure average finish, 8.2. He also happens to be the best average starter at 8.7. He qualifies well. He finishes well at Dover. You're going to want to keep an eye on the number 5, who's had a little bit of bad luck. It's been a rough stretch for Larson and company, and this is a track they could certainly turn it around on. 16 races here, has 1 victory, 14 top 20s, only 2 times as he finished outside of the top 20 here, and 12 top 10s for the driver of the 5. Chase Elliott, Pay attention to the 9, another Hendrick Chevrolet. 14 races, 2 victories here for Chase. He's enjoyed his share of success, and 12 times he has finished within the top 20. 10 of them have been top 10 performances. In fact, all 10 of his top 10 performances have been top 5 performances. So if you're Chase Elliott and you're a top 10 car at Dover, you're a top 5 car time and time again. So pay attention to Chase in this one. Also, Brad Keselowski. We're talking about guys like Kyle Busch who probably need to, or hoping that they can get that victory to punch their playoff ticket. Keselowski's one of those names for sure. 26 starts here, has a victory at Dover a handful of years ago. 5 top 5s, 11 top 10s, 22 top 20s out of his 26 starts, and only 1 did not finish. Keselowski keeps it real. He keeps it steady here at Dover, and he's a name. Eric Jones, Legacy Motor Club, was at a high a couple weeks ago. Last couple weeks, they've come crashing back down to reality in terms of finishing position, but Jones in 11 starts has a top 5, has 3 top 10s, has 9 top 20s. He is incredibly consistent at this track. If you're looking for somebody to safely finish right in that top 15 range, Eric Jones might be your guy in a scenario such as this one. Another name I'd pay attention to, probably Joey Logano. He's a good example here. 14.5 is his average finish rate. 28 races for the driver of the number 22. He's well experienced. His first start many years ago came back right around this track, or when he first started to get into the NASCAR just hierarchy, was very much tied with Dover. For Logano, he hasn't won here, but he does have 15 top 10s and 20 top 20 finishing positions. So I don't know if he'll snap that winless drought, or not even drought, just inability to win at Dover, but he should be someone to pay attention to for a really solid finish, which is something that Team Penske needs out of that 22 car right now. Moving on from guys to watch, names to pay attention to. Let's jump into who you want to avoid. This is the big one. Michael McDowell, driver of the 71. Do not pick this guy. Whether you're talking with your friend, whether you're talking with your mom, whether you're putting money down, you don't want Michael McDowell at Dover. I'm a big McDowell guy. I like to see him succeed. I was bummed a couple weeks ago when he had issues on that DePaul Chevrolet. I thought he was going to do something special. That being said, he's been here 24 times in his career, from driving the 00 to the 95 to now the 71 for Spire, the 34 for Front Row. Multiple different teams, multiple different cars. He's been here a lot, and in that count, 24 races, let me tell you again, his best finish is 17th. He's had 10 did not finishes. Most like that's the most among any driver on the entry list. 10 DNFs is a very fat number for someone who's been doing it as long as he has. He only has 3 top 20s in his time at Dover and a 30.8 average finish number. So avoid Michael McDowell at all costs. You do not want the 71 car in your selection. We said the best average start, Kyle Larson at 8.7. And then lastly, your in-season tournament, we talked about the numbers for someone like Ty Gibbs and his 2 starts. Best finish has a top 10 for Mr. Gibbs, or at least dang close to it. He has 1 top 10, 2 top 20s in his 2 starts. He goes up against Tyler Reddick, who's also been incredibly consistent here at Dover on the bubble. We discussed their stats. I won't talk to you about those again. It's Ty Dillon versus John Hunter Nemechek, the 2 wild cards, the underdogs. Ty Dillon has 11 races here at Dover. 25.1 is his average finish. 2 top 20s in those 11 races, and his best finish is 14th for Ty. John Hunter Nemechek, 3 races. This includes his time with Front Row in the number 38, and then, of course, with Legacy Motor Club. 21.3 is his average finish. He has 2 top 20s to match Ty Dillon's, but he does not have a best finish of 14th. His best finish is 20th. So are you going to go with someone like Dillon, who necessarily has finished better at Dover before, or you can go someone like Nemechek, who in less races has showed just about as much fight at this track as Ty Dillon. Dillon's overcame all odds up to this point, but I mean, honestly, so has John Hunter. He just hasn't done it with the same amount of flashiness. So something to pay attention to this time out. New schemes, Josh Berry. He's rocking Advance Auto Parts. Pay attention to that on the 21. Typically a Ryan Blaney staple. Will now adorn the Wood Brothers 21 machine. Chris Buescher, I think this is the debut of Trimble on that number 17 car. And John Hunter Nemechek, speak of the devil, is going to be rocking Hertz, a sponsor I don't believe we've seen since it was on the 24 car. Been a while. When they were a Hendrick associated sponsor, they returned with Legacy Motor Club to sponsor John Hunter Nemechek. That's your preview. Bada bing, bada boom. Get ready for Dover. Have fun. Enjoy. If you learned something from this video, give us a like. Hit subscribe if you so feel like it. And once again, want to give a big shout out. Very appreciative of sites like driveraverages.com who keep this stuff up to date and give us that database as NASCAR fans to get things rocking and rolling. Enjoy the race. We'll catch you afterwards.